American Fiction. This movie stars Jeffrey Wright. It's about an upper middle class black author who is tired of nobody buying his books because the publishers just want him to write quote unquote black literature, even though he's like, well, I'm black and I'm writing literature. But there's like, the movie is a whole bunch about just the expectations of like the white corporate structure to commodify the black experience as one of suffering and poverty. And he eventually decides to write a satirical book where he's just like, all right, well, I'm going to write the most, hood book that I can. He calls it My Pathology, like pathology, but replacing the TH with an F. And, it's just about, gangbangers and poverty and stuff like that. And he writes it as a joke, just to like shove the publisher's nose in the kind of book that they were asking him to write. But unfortunately for him, white people are really stupid and they think it's legitimate, and they want to turn it into a movie and all of this stuff. But the movie is not just about the mockery of, white people's ideas of what black culture is and how they commodify that. It also talks about the ways that black people deal with the differing aspects of their culture. Because, this movie is very clear that black people are not a monolith. And the main character, Jeffrey Wright, he doesn't really identify himself as black. Like, one of the early lines in the movie is that he doesn't really believe in race. Actually, the opening scene is him teaching a class where they're going through classic American literature, and the book that they are currently reading has the N-word in the title, and he's written it on the whiteboard, and he has like a very stereotypical SJW student complain that he's written the word up there, and she's white, but she's like, well, I don't think we should have to have that word up there. It's very offensive. And he's just like, look, seriously, I got over it. You will too. But the movie also is very critical of the way that he kind of looks down at not just the idea that all black people are illiterate and impoverished, but that he's actually looking down on the black people who are illiterate and impoverished. Even though he writes this book under a pseudonym, so nobody knows that he's actually the one who wrote it, he confronts another black author who basically was the inspiration for him, because she wrote a book that's very much in the same vein and got all of the same kind of accolades and everything like that. And she has a similar upbringing to him. Like, she's upper middle class, had college scholarships, all the whole 9 yards. She's very well educated, but she's when he confronts her on her book, she's like, these are based on real stories. I did a lot of research here. I went in and did tons of interviews and stuff like that. This is a fairly authentic representation of poor people in in the inner city. Whereas the book that he wrote, it just feels soulless and inauthentic. It's a very funny movie, but it also has a lot to say, not just about the commodification of black culture by white people, but about the ways that black people interact with it. There's never really a point in the movie where, at least from my perspective as a white guy, there was never a moment where I felt like the butt of the joke was that idea of the impoverished illiterate black person. The joke was always the white people commodifying it. He has to play this, because he comes up with this character for the guy who wrote the book as semi-autobiographical, and he uses a pseudonym, but he's a wanted fugitive by the FBI, and he did 12 years for murder and all this stuff, and he has to play up the accent on the phone to these white people. And all of the laughs are at the expense of the white people who are just buying it hook, line, and sinker. That's definitely where I was laughing during the movie. Right-wingers are trash says race as a concept is holy horseshit. Well, right. Race as a concept was constructed to create another kind of class division. But there's different things people mean when they say they don't believe in race, right? I don't believe in race as in there is a white race. It's an arbitrary categorization, but in terms of how race is used as a social force in the world, it's very real. It's just not something inherent to somebody's genetics. It is a social construct. Jeffrey Wright is a fantastic actor. I've I've liked him in basically everything that I have seen him in, even if he hasn't always done stuff that was, good on its own merits. He's a really solid actor. The movie had kind of a fun, like, meta ending because he like it kind of has multiple fake out endings. You're not just watching a movie about him writing this fake book. You're also kind of watching a movie that he has written about him writing this book and all that stuff. So there's, some meta commentary about the truth of people's stories and all that, because like he's like pitching an ending for the movie, and like you see the ending of the movie, but then it cuts to him talking to like the director of the film, and they're just like, no, let's work it this way and do this and that. It's like, no, it's like, oh, I like that ending. That one sounds more true to your experience, even though it's a fake ending. What he's talking about isn't like actually what happened in real life. So I really like this movie. It's a lot of fun, has a lot of good things to say, and if you really want to laugh at bougie white people painfully adopting what they think is authentic Black culture, give this one a watch. Hey, thanks for watching. Your view means a lot. Don't forget to toss me a like and subscribe and ring the bell. And drop a comment below telling me what you thought of the video. I stream Mondays and Fridays at 5 p.m. Pacific and Sundays at 2, so catch me live and join in on the convo. You can find all my socials in the description below, and thank you to all my patrons with a very special shout out to my Whaled Shark tier patron Ryan D and my Anemone friend tier patron Piftle Cakes. Your support means the world. Catch you next time.